am M.
I'm G.
We are eclectic disciples of Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
And this is the Paranormal Terraformation also.
So what are eclectic disciples of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, and what is the Paranormal Terraformation? Well, pertaining to the eclectic disciple part, I have a couple things written here. Although we know that Jesus Christ of Nazareth was the living Son of God, God incarnate, who took on human form, walked amongst us, who died on the cross, and resurrected from the dead, we have no affiliation with any one religion or church, faith, creed, sect, doctrine, or theology, as none above contain everything there is to know about reality.
Amen.
So there are aspects about Christianity that
we love.
There are aspects about other spiritualities
we love.
And our scope is broad, and
because there's a lot of stuff about what these other sects believe and think, and it's not altogether what we ascribe to.
Absolutely.
So there's things about them that we entirely love, and there's things about them that we do not agree with.
Basically.
Yes.
And as far as Paranormal Terraformation, also going in with what it means to be eclectic, and to sum up kind of what the word eclectic is to have a broad range of study, knowledge, and wisdom, and not to be co-signed to a particular limited scope of things, as you would find in many religions, where because of their religion, they are not open to truths that can be found in other places. So a couple things that we will be talking about on this journey is we will be addressing demonic and paranormal investigations, God in creation, absolutely, the New World Order attempt. We will be addressing the Illuminati. We will be addressing fallen angels and the Nine, elitism, Anunnaki and the Nephilim, politics, geoengineering, mind control, parapsychology, the alien agenda / alien phenomena, and abductions, UFO and U.A.Ps, energy medicine and the life force arts, grounding and meditation, the contrast between the higher and the lower self, empaths / psychics and their relation to prophets and seers, interdimensional / extraterrestrial beings and spiritual warfare, dream phenomena and nightmares and their relation to the spiritual realm / dimension, death and immortality, number repeats and synchronicities,
big one,
religion, spiritualities, and the occult, the expansion of all these subjects, and more.
See, I liked that you wrote down the New World Order attempt.
Yes.
Right. Haha. Yeah, that's good. Attempting. Well, the other stuff they didn't really have to make much of an attempt for. It's already been done, sadly.
Exactly.
Mind control. Societies right now, they think that they are rebelling against the elites, when in reality they're falling and feeding right into what the elites had planned them to do, to act like. So, there's that, and that's been going on for a very long time, I think.
Yeah, they're basically serving the so-called true elites of their hierarchy in an attempt to rebel against a particular station of elites upon that hierarchy.
Yeah, and it's all mind control. It's all a game. It's all a setup.
Psychic warfare.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Most of everything is, though.
Yeah,
if you want to be technical about it. So when we are addressing, because that's a vast, let's face it, that's a pretty big list that you made there, that we're going to be addressing all of these things.
Yes, it is.
When we're addressing it, we do appreciate input. If you agree or disagree, or have questions, we welcome all of it, actually, because
Absolutely.
that's how we learn, that's how you learn, we can learn together. But why are we even doing this?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. And I think for me, I can answer, I'm doing this because I am fed up with what I'm seeing in the world. I'm fed up with what I'm seeing online. The idealisms, the mind control, the game, the setup, I'm tired of all of it. So you can only sit idle for so long before you want to call out what you've learned for the last 20, 30 years. And now it's playing out right before your very eyes. You really do want to call it out. And I want to call it out.
Absolutely. For the longest time, we were wondering if there was a need for this type of thing where we began to establish ourselves and put our input in the field. And as you said, we've been watching a whole lot of people step up. A lot of people say a lot of things, everyone with their opinion in an attempt to speak the truth, but also people who seem to have the intent to lie. Again, over time, we've just kind of watched the world seem to go in a very bad direction, and we want to play in part and terraforming it.
Fight it.
In a better direction.
We want to fight it. We want to fight.
We do want to fight it.
The effects that we see, that these negative, I want to say entities, because it's not just humans that's orchestrating this global catastrophe that we're looking at. This is not just a human causation and effect. We have spiritual forces at work day and night, and they play a big role in this. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the questions or statements, I guess you can say, that you may hear is the concept of, if, having, with our universe being as large as it is, are we the only ones, the only intelligent life within the universe? And a lot of people would say it'd be foolish to think that we are. And I guess at the end of the day, it's like, if we're not, well, what else is there out there? And across, again, different myth, lore, religion, spiritualities, even within science, when it comes to aliens, things like that, everyone has attempted to put forth an answer to that and what that may look like.
You said intelligent life.
Yeah, I know, right?
If they're seeking intelligent life, they're not going to come here anyways. But seriously, though, who was it that was speaking? Oh, on Starlink, it was Elon Musk. Speaking of how they asked him a question, has he ever seen, UFOs or U.A.Ps? That's the new name for them, U.A.Ps. It's ridiculous, but it's a thing. So we're just going to follow through with the elites program and call them U.A.Ps now. I still call them UFOs, whatever. But he's like, no, I haven't seen anything. And they've been paying close attention out there, putting satellites and such up there, taking what they do very seriously, but he hasn't seen anything. And there's a lot of telescopes and a lot of astronomers and astrologers that haven't also seen anything. And in my mind, where I come from, and this is a very hard subject to approach just like out of nowhere, but I do believe that there are other dimensions and there are other worlds in those other dimensions. And I believe that a lot of this that people call alien, even though it is alien, it's alien to us, extraterrestrial. I believe that these are basically from interdimensional worlds, so to speak.
Agreed. This, when you want to ask the question, if there is other things in the universe, and if we're starting to see and experience, or have been experiencing, intervention, contact, and experience with these other things, well, where is that, science fiction level movie invasion, And what we're going to get into is explaining basically that the invasion is already happening.
It's been happening.
And has been happening. And the reason why it isn't appearing as it does, like it does in the movies, is because it exists in a different form than what people are being programmed to believe that it exists in.
I mean, yeah, I completely agree with that. And they say, well, there's worlds out there that seemingly have water and, you know, probably be hospitable to life. Yeah, that may all be true. I don't know. But I do know this. If they're talking about wormholes, if they're talking about stargates, they're talking about something that's not coming from Orion's belt area straight out, you know, Pleiadian or Sirian, or they're talking about something that's coming from a different dimensional world. There's no other word to use than world. Like, it's a different dimensional world compared to this world. Like when people talk about heaven and they look up to the sky and, you know, people, oh, you know, I miss, you know, so-and-so, and they look up to the sky. You know, I really don't ascribe to the fact that the heavens are out there in space somewhere. It is a dimensional world outside of this world. That's basically how I see it. And, you know, people can say, well, you know, maybe, but where else do you think it is? And that's if you even believe in a heaven.
Exactly.
First of all, let's just say we're not really for non-believers. Even if we get a couple, I'm sure we're going to try to convert them.
Yeah.
You, whoever. But, yeah, we're talking about things that live in a dimension outside of our dimension. And you're, all right, I just have to, because we're talking about this, so I have to get into this. I had what would you call it? A close encounter? I was walking out of my house. I was going to go to my mother's house next door, which is about 200 feet or so away from my own house. In the middle of the road, I thought somebody were lighting off fireworks, and there was this orb. And it made a hissing sound. It came, now when I say this orb came out of nowhere, it didn't come out of the sky. It didn't come from like side to side anywhere. You couldn't see it having came from anywhere. I'm looking over at the road, as I normally do, and out of nowhere, an orb appears maybe up to my knees in the middle of the road out of nowhere. Where did it come from? It popped into this dimension out of nowhere. And the orb, by the way, was bright fire orange. It turned into two orbs that turned into two disc-shaped ships, for lack of a better word, because they did rise and start, you know, moving very slowly too. They weren't like speed of light kind of thing. There were no grays. There were no, you know, reptilians, no Nordics, whatever. They were just ships. And they were flying themselves. Where do you think they came from? Out of nowhere. The only explanation, the only thing that makes any sense to me, because I, on God, witnessed this, is they came from another dimensional realm.
Yes, and we've also, really quick, have seen things that can only be known or be considered, if you wanted to identify it, as moving stars, sentient, so-called.
Same color, fire orange.
So what I want to actually get to that connects to this is one of the things that we both actually like to do is attempt to synthesize what I believe to be two sides of the same coin, and two of the words that I can best describe it as is science and spirituality. Even within science right now, when it comes to quantum physics and quantum field theory, there is the existence of the concept of more than one dimension. Particle field physics. And what I actually kind of want to present is I guess you could say it's a theory that I have that synthesizes that spirituality and science. And one of the ways that I look at it is, like, one of the things that we like to do when it comes to trying to explore, think, and give form in our minds to things that may be out there is we identify it as if it's like us. But the question is, like, what are we necessarily? And from a scientific perspective, you would say that it is actually even said within the scientific perspective that matter and energy are interchangeable, that as you see our solid forms right now, they are based on an organ system that is composed of cells. Those cells are composed of molecules. And with each succession step, I refer to these as dimensions, you start to get more on the nanoscale. So those molecules become atoms. Atoms become subatomic particles. Subatomic particles become quarks. Now, for us as believers in a God, there's also this concept called panpsychism, psychism, I believe it's called, where consciousness and intelligence is actually more fundamental to how and what everything is than matter is. So, really quick, if you go to the concept or the Big Bang Theory, now imagine if intelligence was a part of this entire process. When you have things existing at the very formation of the universe, and they talk about how things are getting more dense and more dense and more dense, when you include intelligence along that entire thing, where you have galaxy formations and then you have planetary formations, and you basically have things that can be described as being more energetic, becoming more material, add consciousness in that entire thing, going back to how our bodies are built on successively more subtle levels of matter, to the point where you start getting into quantum physics and quantum mechanics. Well, what if beings, the aliens that we're looking for, are more composed of those levels, those sub-levels that make us what we are, and they're intelligent in those fields on that level? You start getting into what shape-shifting is composed of. If you take something like molecules or atoms, like if something has more of an atomic composite, it's made up more of those things that can kind of move around more, then you get into what a shapeshifter can be. I'll stop there because it gets very vast.
I like the vastness of it, but I also agree with the shapeshifting, because listen, I'm seeing this fireball glowing orange orb that starts out about at a knee level, and I'm 5'5", so, and it ends up going up higher, I'd say about 6 feet high in the air, turning into two orbs that turn into two ships. All right, so take that, right, and apply what you just said to that. This is some kind of creature, being, and what's it made out of?
Potentially
sentient yes.
Plasma.
Sentient plasma. Think about that. That blows my mind. And you know, at the time when something like that's happening, if I could do it now, I would. If I could like see it happen again, I'd probably walk up, get closer to it. But at that time, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm running to go get my mother so I can have someone witness this with me. By the time she comes out of the house, they have risen to, I'd say, maybe, I'm not good with feet, so I shouldn't even bother to try to do this. House, right? It was above, about 7 to 10 feet above the house, which is pretty high, but they were hovering. And then I was jokingly saying things, and she got, pulled me by the arm. Like, don't say things like that. But if I could go back in time now, I would stand there. Actually, I would run in and get my phone, because when it's happening, when something like that's happening, you're not thinking about, oh my God, I need to go get my phone. Maybe nowadays they would with TikTok and stuff, but I was so in the moment with these things. And my mother, when she saw them, she didn't know what to think. She's like, what are they? What's that? When you talk about extraterrestrials or aliens, people usually associate that word instantaneously with like the little grays. Or, the other ones, whatever.
Flesh
reptilians.
And blood.
Exactly,
grays
yeah. But they're not thinking about that. And I can be honest with you. I'm an experiencer, and I don't talk about it, but aside from this, and this is another experience. So now I am an experiencer of living plasmatic
entity
that I have no idea. You can't ascribe that. That thing's not flesh.
No, it's not flesh.
It doesn't have arms. It doesn't have legs. But it was moving. It shape shifted. It was like a living, moving ball of light.
Mm-hmm. Which actually, and here's another reason. Again, we also kind of been waiting to see the world be ready for this type of material. Yeah. And currently the type of experiences that you're talking about, and I mentioned another one that we had when we saw the moving stars. And I don't mean moving like you see things kind of just like floating where you can't, no, they were moving around as if they were like, if you saw a bird in flight, it had a sort of intent to its movement where, you know what I mean? It wasn't just like a weather balloon or what do you call those things that people light and send
that's
up?
what I heard when I called this in to move on. Are you sure it wasn't a Chinese lantern? And I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a Chinese lantern doesn't start out as a grapefruit-sized orange burning ball of light that hisses and turns into two and then turns into ships. I'm pretty sure I didn't see a Chinese lantern.
Absolutely. And the things that we're talking about are more readily accepted by people who are already exposed or have a belief or a interest in the supernatural, paranormal. But I was also going to say, for the theists and atheists alike, per se, when it comes to non-believers and believers in anything beyond materialism, currently right now, the government has released UFO files that have depictions of the type of things that we were talking about.
Which, how many years did I wait for this?
It's been a long time.
And I'm so happy that, you feel validated, because it's not like you feel crazy. Because this is beyond your control. Something's happening in front of you. But it's just when you go to tell other people about it, that's when you get the, okay, and then they're on to a different subject, like this isn't such a big deal. You don't understand. This was a big deal. Or it was, with MUFON, it was, they're probably Chinese lanterns. No. That's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you don't feel validated. And you had such a profound experience that you want someone to validate it. And then finally years go by. Years. And now there it is, in the UFO files.
Which to
I
me...
love it. I can't help it.
Well, I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's almost like, I don't know, man. It's like good timing, divine intervention, and the fact that it's even happening is a beautiful thing. Looking for your drink?
Yeah, you took it. Get your own damn drink.
But that's one of the major points of this entire thing, and also why we feel more comfortable or feel like it's time to come out. It's like when your own government is having congressional meetings about the existence of other life.
Yeah, that you've known about since childhood.
That's a certain validation that the people who would call...
There we go. All right.
Yeah. So I was saying is that it crystallizes the concept more third dimensionally that the so-called non-believers, I don't mean just non-believers in God. I mean people who wouldn't even believe in the existence of these interdimensional extraterrestrial beings, which actually can be found in spiritual groups of thought, including Christianity.
Wait a minute. Because you said that, you've sparked me.
Go ahead.
When we came here today, you told me about an experience you were having with somebody who, quote unquote, wanted to ghost hunt.
Yes.
And then after you open that channel up dimensionally in yourself, suddenly you're experiencing things. Mm-hmm. So we could walk through here any night, and we have not experienced anything if we're not open. But same thing goes for this. Now, you got to wonder this. I have to. And if anybody out there's had experiences, I want you to Leave a comment. Tell us about it, please. I'm serious. I think that these experiences happen to certain people more so than other people. Does that make sense?
Well, can I say something?
Please do.
From where we come from, basically everyone's experiencing it. It's about whether or not they have
they're experiencing
the senses to actually take it in
right,
on another level.
I agree.
Yeah.
There is that spiritual realm that's around mankind all the time, yada, yada. I do. But when we're talking about other creatures that aren't just the ones that are parasiting and causing havoc and wreaking hell on your health and your mental state, we're also talking about other creatures that maybe aren't so malevolent, that are trying to get, some kind of channel of contact with certain people. Maybe there's something about certain people that they feel more comfortable with exposing.
Oh, you're talking about the good.
Yeah, of course I'm talking about the good.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the bad. Will try to feed on everyone, regardless if you're aware of it or not. You are all being victimized and fed on by some pretty dark spiritual forces.
Exactly.
That's a fact, I'm sorry.
Which is another, now that we're at this point, we also want to, we want to put out that that correction that there isn't a such thing as everything is good or everything is bad.
Exactly.
And kind of anyone saying that is
nuts.
Is not even,
I'm sorry, not nuts, programmed.
Exactly.
There's that mind control again.
Exactly. It goes back to that mind control.
Christianity, everything's evil. Okay?
They're
Everything,
all demonic.
It's demonic demons now. Wait, hold on. Let's go there, please.
Really quick. Yeah, let's do it.
First of all, demons don't need UAPs or UFOs. Can we just agree on that?
Yes.
Okay. Demons are not in the kind of state, as far as any literature and the Bible itself, the Holy Bible itself, all of literature will tell you that a demon is not in the kind of form to be getting in a UFO and driving it around. All right?
They don't need it.
I'm just saying, they don't need one. They've been doing what they've been doing for a very long time, and they don't need a UFO to do it. So let me just put that out there. I have heard Christians say that demons are flying these UFOs, that the entities inside these UFO UAPs are demonic. Well, maybe in some cases you have some malevolent creatures from other realms doing, malevolent things. Right, cool. I can go for that. They're not demons. And the second thing is, please, the fallen angel demon thing, please take over with that.
Yes. Demons are not fallen angels. And what are the words? Just like you said, you were saying that there's within multiple literatures, you have jinn. There's a lot of names for these particular different beings. So
absolutely.
We get into the Anunnaki.
Well, we didn't get there yet.
No, but as far as fallen angels and demons, demons and fallen angels are not the same thing. I also want to quickly throw out the fact that there is the man-made craft too.
Thank you.
To be discerned
yes,
out
we
there
do
as
know
well.
that. Let me make something clear. Please, 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 people. You can come at me all you want. That's fine and dandy. I do not believe that a creature from another realm, another world, is going to show up here, go through all of that traveling with such high technology at such a rate of speed and what have you, or pass through a Stargate or a wormhole. They're not going to do that just to come over here and crash in our desert.
Absolutely.
That's ridiculous.
Physicists actually have gotten behind the concept of the G-forces and even talked about the type of dust that's in space that can wreck a ship. Something
the size of a speck of dust will totally terminate anything moving at that rate of speed. But let me just, I have to go back to crashing in the desert. The only thing is, if we're trying to reverse engineer things, and there's radioactivity involved in this, anti-gravity, propulsion. if there's radiation involved in this and something crashes that we've reverse engineered and we made a craft and it just didn't do whatever and it crashes, of course somebody inside is going to look alien with that much radiation going through them. Like, it just doesn't sit well with me. I'm not saying that I know everything. I don't know everything. But what I'm saying, it just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't.
No, I mean, in one regard, they'll say that these things can reach speeds that are things that we've designed can't. They can maneuver in between different craft in the air. Basically, that they can shut down nukes. Like, they're that advanced, and they seem to have that much mastery over what it is that they're controlling, where they're moving around. And then in another regard, you know, they're also crashing
in the desert. Because we hit them with radio frequency.
Yeah.
I don't know. That doesn't seem to make much sense to me.
No. But
it doesn't. So these are man-made craft that we're talking about. Shiny, metallic, man-made. I've seen in the military and in some of the older films where they were making their, I forgot what kind of fighter jet it was or whatever, but it was like a triangular shape. Now suddenly we have triangular shaped UAPs.
Oh, UAPs, yeah.
Or UFOs.
Yeah.
Whatever, same thing.
Same thing.
But yeah, now suddenly those are also alien. I'm having a hard time with this. And then respectfully, Mr. Stephen Greer, or Dr. Stephen Greer, says that they have shot down or taken down, neutralized with some weapon. What was it? Another radio frequency weapon or something?
I don't know, was he the one that mentioned scalar tech?
Scalar tech, yes. Scalar. They have downed UFOs with that and had found creatures in these UFOs.
Isn't it after psychically manipulating the creature to come into range?
Well, then you know what? Yeah.
I think somewhat will, yeah.
Yeah. So they're calling these things down. These supposedly. This is supposed. They're calling these ships down with creatures in them. From where? I still want to know where they're coming from. Sure. Okay. So they're calling them down, and then these creatures show up, and then we knock them out of the sky?
We're just kind of making a point that there's a lot of confusion out there about aliens.
Yeah, but we've had ships found here.
Supposedly.
I know we have. I know we've had ships found in our ground, buried so deep in sediment and layers.
Okay, yeah.
That we've had things to reverse engineer before the rest of the civilized world was even let in on the fact that they were a thing.
Well, that's because humans themselves, when it comes to the, like, again, a lot of there's parallels everywhere, but eventually even the Bible parallels to things outside of it that when you go there, it can explain some of the things within it. But the concept that humans have had, we have been more advanced than we are now, and this is not necessarily the first civilization. Exactly.
Because it isn't. See, I like when I'm listening to certain people like Billy Carson, Jacques Vallée. I like listening to them, but then I do wonder, even some of the stuff Stephen Greer says, right? Exactly. I like listening to them, and then I wonder, how come no one takes this, and this and puts it all together and sees the big picture? Because no one's doing that. And I feel like, are we an anomaly here?
That's a good question. Like, one of our major questions is, like, if for the most part, the laws of our universe is under entropy, which, just to sum it up, means that the universe is dying, that there's like a physics to decay and disorder that are kind of upon all things. Well, if these alien entities are also within that same universe, they would be under a similar effect and law. Then you got to ask, so what are they eating? How long do they actually live? You know, things like that people don't really, I haven't really heard people propose those questions or think about those things. It's just kind of the way that I see it, it's like we saw a movie about alien invasion, and that's it. Just that's what aliens are. That's what they look
Yeah,
like.
but ask yourself this. Why were there movies about alien invasions way back then? What were they trying to do?
Again,
The only
very
good
vast.
portrayal I have ever seen that wasn't all negativity, and I'm not saying everything is good out there, because I know for a fact I've had experiences with the bad. I know there are bad, but I know there are good. But the only film that I had ever seen ascribed to any goodness in anything that wasn't from this world was oh gosh, I can't think of the name of it now because I need it.
Wait, give me.
It was, who did the movie we just saw?
Steven Spielberg.
Okay, Spielberg.
Yeah.
The first one.
Close Encounters.
That's it. Close. How could I forget that? What is wrong with me?
We're dealing with a lot of.
I have a lot of stuff in my brain, obviously, but how could I forget that? Do 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 do. Yeah. But yeah, he was the only one that put something out that didn't make every single thing look like War of the Worlds, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which is kind of alien if you ask me. I'm pretty sure. Independence Day. Holy crud! That was creepy. It was evil.
But yeah, I mean, basically.
Alien movie, all the Alien series. Sorry,
yeah.
I just,
No.
I have
Sorry,
to.
no, you're good.
It's just crazy. Everything that you have been programmed to believe about anything that isn't this is all negative, all evil, all bad.
Yeah, with overwhelming power and destructive force. Meanwhile, we're able to watch and keep eating and moving and going to the bathroom and showering under
they
these
shut our
powers that have
nukes down.
overwhelming power. And
They shut our nukes down, but they haven't annihilated mankind yet.
exactly.
Yeah.
And we will eventually understand exactly why that is, because they're not
They have
as
to eat
powerful. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm saying the bad.
No, you're right. That's the
bad.
thing, though.
Not the good. I'm saying the bad.
When I was getting into the entropy thing, it's like, it's getting to the concept that we all have needs, and it would mean that these entities also have needs too. Especially, it's like claiming that the most malevolent, evil thing somehow also has the greatest power to just. They have needs.
Yeah, they do. You know what I wonder?
We're one of them.
Between you and I and our listening audience out there, whoever they may be, I wonder if anyone has, say, they're into the paranormal, and they were doing a ghost hunt, or they had some client say, we're having an experience in this house, it's negative, yada, yada, yada. I wonder how many times somebody has reported seeing something that resembles the Greys or the reptilians. If they've had U.F.O, U.A.P activity. If, you know what I mean? Like, I wonder how often that is, because they are so, anybody who, I haven't watched it personally, that Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen bits and pieces of it. I've never watched it.
A bit of it, yeah.
A little bit, that whole documentary
Yeah.
thing. Part of it. I didn't watch the whole thing. But from what I understand, these are very connected things. And that scares me. That scares me. Because I'm not thinking, from what I understand about that whole thing, that they're having positive experiences with it.
And then, like, that's one of the basis of the paranormal terraformation. It's like we know, and we eventually wish to expound, and also we want to get the viewer, you guys, to in ways know what we know and understand how we know what we know.
We also want to know what they know.
And we also,
they've
exactly, because it's all pieces. A lot of people have a lot of pieces of the puzzle. A lot of people have pieces to the puzzle. We have what we know, and we also have what we learned. But what I was gonna say is that we're kind of currently right now of an understanding that we're warring, again, going into the spiritual warfare out of the things that we're talking about. We are warring against these things already. Our civilization as a whole is warring against what some people call the fallen angels and demons and aliens. Again, we'll try to make the discrepancies where we need to.
Some people call them all the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. And they're taking a lot. They're dominating a lot. And right now, within the internet, within civilization, it looks like there is a lot of chaos, a lot of fragmented minds, a lot of lies mixed with truth, a lot of deception, a lot of psyops, a lot of psychic warfare. And it just feels like if people don't end up being able to right themselves, we're not going to end up, we'll probably end up near where some people want us to end up as far as the apocalypse, but...
Yeah, that scares me. It scares you when you have, you know, children in your life that you want to see grow up and have a better life, and then you look at the world now and you see the insanity in the programs and how everyone just falls for everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's disheartening. Like, don't you see what they're doing? They're setting you up like, oh, well, let's fight racism, and let's fight feminism. Let's fight for feminism. Let's fight against racism. Let's fight. Yeah, cool. But you're not, though. You're feeding right into what they wanted you to do and how they wanted you to do it.
Exactly. The people who want to fight racism, sometimes, many times it seems out there, become racist. The people that want to fight feminism become a different version of the very thing that they were trying to fight.
Inverted version.
Exactly.
It's gross. It's grotesque. It's grotesque. It's insane. But that's what we're dealing with here.
It is what we're dealing with.
Insanity.
And it all connects to what we're going to be talking about.
Yes.
Like we just got done talking about racism and feminism, and it actually links into the spiritual, the alien, and the demonic.
It does. Have you seen certain people out there? They look like they are possessed. They act like they are possessed. It's crazy. It's just crazy.
Along the lines of what you were saying about how people are kind of like just basically believing everything. One of the things I heard is that there is a difference between when you're receiving information, just like the information that we're giving you now. That's why one of our disclaimers is discern all things, even the things that we say. But when you're receiving information, a lot of people don't necessarily take that information, like chew on it, process it, fact check it, and then digest it. They just, as the information is coming, they just accept it as the conclusion in and of itself. Which you'll find a lot of people who do that, they don't really have any way to defend what it is that they believe or what they
don't even know what they believe.
Taken in, no, they don't know what they believe.
No.
They resort to a whole bunch of other tactics other than explaining why what they believe is actually what they believe is why they believe it, other than, well, it sounded good, it felt good, I resonated with it, the whole vibe thing.
Yeah, and the whole, what is it, that clan mindset, the tribal mindset, you know, we all get together and we stand together for this cause, and then you're like, yeah, but what is your cause? And then they're like, being together, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like destroying people, you know, that don't agree with us, labeling them as Nazis. Jesus, God in heaven. Let me tell you something, all right? When I was younger, I used to read about the Holocaust, and I had neighbors, and they were Zachman, and they were German Jews who made it through the Holocaust. And to throw that word around, Nazi, like they do, is so disrespectful. It's used, and they'll call you a racist if you don't agree with them. They'll call you a Nazi if you don't agree with them. And these are the most horrid terms. But, you know, now people are getting desensitized, and they're like, okay, so I'm a racist Nazi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and your point is what now? Like, they're creating, these monsters have been created by someone, something, for the cause. And now these monsters are creating monsters by what they're doing.
It's like a virus.
It is. And guess what happens? The same thing that's been happening from the very beginning. We have discord with each other. And it never ends. And we don't stop it because we're so under the programs. It's very demonically influenced.
There is a discrepancy between what's known as fallen angels and demons. I mean, even within base theology when it comes to like Christianity and the Bible itself. Genesis 6:4 says, the sons of God came into the daughters of men, And basically, again, we literally will be able to get into the nuances of what that type of thing is when it comes to like angel human mixing. But the Nephilim technically would have been the product of that union, but that union began with the so-called sons of God. So the sons of God are separate from their offspring, so to speak. So when people say that the Nephilim and the fallen angels are all the same, that demons are fallen angels, it's like, that's not true. And to miss that is actually a very serious thing. Exactly.
You need to know. You really do. You need to study. You can't just sit there and take, this world for face value, because your very life and the life of people you care about is always in jeopardy if you do that. And it is anyway. I mean, look at what happened in my world.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah.
So another thing, we've been touched, per se, so much by the manifestations of what the other side is actually capable of, that it's just at
horrifying.
That point where we're trying to heighten our level of warfare against them.
That's right. I'd like to dedicate some of what I do to my
No, go ahead.
to my son, Michael Palmer, who passed away on my 54th birthday because he was murdered by a drunk driver. So I would like to dedicate some of the stuff that he grew up knowing and some of the things that he believed. I would like to dedicate some of this that we're doing now to his memory. He was an experiencer also. He would lay out on the trampoline that he bought for his kids. He'd lay out there at night and watch
activity.
Watch them, the activity. We've always had activity around our family, oddly.
Same with mine.
Yep. Yes, I remember hearing. So, yeah.
We're kind of sick of the activity.
Well, we're sick of the negative activity.
Yeah, the negative activity, exactly.
And we'd like to put an end to it somehow, some way. Fight the good fight, And there's no way you're going to do that without the blood of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. There just isn't. I'm sorry. You might think you can, but you can't. And I don't know how people even can say with a straight face that they believe in other dimensions, that they believe in other creatures, that they believe in negative spirits, and then not believe in God.
Yeah, I know. I don't. It's just cognitive dissonance.
Oh, that's insanity, right? Well, then if you don't believe in God, you're on your own then.
I don't even know. I mean, how is that even possible?
I don't know.
How do you miss God in the equation of going beyond materialism? Like, once you start believing in anything spiritual, even the existence of a soul, I mean, it's almost like, if you believe...
But the universe.
Yeah,
The universe. Yeah, no. Idiots. I'm sorry. I know that's mean to say, but I can't help it, because there's a line that you just don't cross with me. And to cross that line, now I will see you as a complete and utter idiot.
Yeah, I mean...
People have argued that stuff.
Yeah, I know.
But that's a whole other... That's part of the series. That's a whole other discussion for a whole other time. But yes, everything, every single thing intertwines.
Absolutely.
And it comes back to this. And this is our start.
This is our start.
Yeah. Yep.
I am M.
I am G.
We are eclectic disciples of Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
And we are the Paranormal Terraformation.
Amen.
Amen.